is the realistic SCR-8, also known as the Powerhouse. And it is a clone of the GE Blockbuster, which both live up to their name. And this is an OEM by Funai again. And you'll notice it's almost the same as the Blockbuster, but with just different cosmetics. I do have the antenna for it I need to install. So far everything works. Tape deck, I think the belt's broken, but luckily when I ordered belts for the Blockbuster, I ordered some extra. So, and sorry for all the noise. The Lakewood is running because it is, I don't know, 30 degrees and snowing. When the other day it was 72 degrees here. So far this is what we get. No antenna on it, mind you. Yeah, no antenna. Of course, it's that country station that comes in strongest, but it's not even lighting the tuning light up. The thing I read about this, there must be different variants on this meter. One of the variants said like the first couple segments were a VU meter, and the rest were for power, but in this example, it's just simply a VU meter for just the whole thing, which is fine. It's just good there for aesthetics. That's basically what it's for. Just it's really cool. But just like the Blockbuster, everything else is the same. This does have automatic music search, but this only does one at a time, where the GE does 3. These are all the same, and in fact, in the same order. These are all the same. The microphones got moved up to the top there, and the tuning knob off to the side. And this model apparently adds clips to add a shoulder strap on it. Although this thing's really heavy. I think it's like 12 or 15 pounds. I don't know. It's in that range. It's in the teens. Same speakers, long throw woofers. But this doesn't have the large chrome dust caps like the Blockbuster does, which makes it look cooler. It's in really good shape. This is as found. It does work. As you see, just like I said, probably little scratchy controls. Anyways, even if I have to do other repairs to the tape deck, if you remember, I got a parts tape deck for this. And the other thing is I have the belts for it already. Differences are, like I said, it has the power, or in this case it's a VU meter. I have battery light, tuning, and record indicator. That's new. FM stereo, and it has a green LED for that. So let's take a look at the back here. And the back here, you'll observe it is identical to the Blockbuster. The only difference is where the name goes. But the specifications, even the power input, is identical. So this one has the same crumblies, like it already scraped that off. I'm gonna do the same thing, lighter fluid and plastic scraper, get the rest of that off. Looks like some battery may have been in there, a little rust. Try to clean it up the best I can. And this one did come with its original power cord, but the plug-in has the obligatory 1980s blotch of white paint on it. Somebody's been here before, because here is a bracket wedged down in this corner. Let's see where that goes to. And let's see, you can see how the tuner controls. It's different on this. It just moved to the side. Same tape deck, tape transport, big power supply. All this is pretty much the same. See, the speakers are pretty much the same too. And this one just has an extra connector down here. Funai like to use these colored, multicolored cables like this. You got to pay particular attention to detail, but that's how you'll know. Interestingly, these ones are actually rated for 8 watts RMS. This one still uses the Hitachi HA1392, which is good for 5 watts RMS per channel. This is after blowing everything out the air compressor. I'm just pulling it out now to see what I got to do with the antenna, and I'm going to deoxit all the controls. Also take note of which wire goes into this holder so I can put it back the same. Alright, so yeah, that was indeed the antenna bracket. The antenna connects to there, and this is a spring, and it just makes contact with that piece right here. So good, that was actually an easy fix. There were no missing parts except the screw, so I got another screw for it. And I'll just dust out the cabinet and start putting things back together. Yep, there it is, the Hitachi HA1392. Now, after doing research from the previous video, I found out the manufacturer of this tape transport is GEC. And I also found that these were used in some Tascam 4-track recorders and some higher-end Yamaha things, so that explains why it's so good. So as you know, putting in the playback did not work. Rewind and fast forward does. Turns out it's old 40-year-old lubrication. And this piece here, that green is the fresh grease, so I need to put it down in this hole to put it on this shaft, because this was not turning, and that's what was preventing this from working correctly. I'm comparing it to the parts unit right here on how everything works. Okay, I had to put a drop of oil on the shaft for this. Now this is nice and free, so I'll be doing that to all the different shafts in here. Okay, working on the front panel. Take the speakers out. I take a little alcohol pad and wipe the cone and the dust cap, and then I follow up the dust cap with some very carefully Novus plastic polish. Makes the chrome real shiny. So yeah, same size speaker. It's 6-inch. It's just has a smaller chrome dust cap, but it's still the same type of speaker. Long throw. And I'm going to do that side next. Then I'll just take a paintbrush and dust out the bottom, and I'm going to polish up the front of the cabinet. What I'm waiting on is the tape deck. A common problem with these GEC tape decks, and this is where the heads mount. See, I have the heads off of there right now. See, this would be your erase head, focus, erase head, playback head. This piece here at the top, that's right there, I have JB welded. What it is, it's an age-related issue. There's a spring that's supposed to go in there, and that's what causes it to engage when you hit play. Engages the one cam to pull the tape up, since it's a feather touch control. Well, age with that spring in that putting tension on this all the time causes it to crack. So to repair this, put the spring in place in the position it's supposed to be in, but do not put it under tension. Also make sure it's completely flat, and put JB weld in place. That will hold both the spring and cracked plastic right there, so it won't put any tension on it. And it's been almost a day now, 24 hours, so I'm gonna try to reassemble it now. Now, the one out of the parts unit was exactly the same way, so I repaired them both in case I need it for another one. But there you go. Well, insert this. I forgot to show this. This is that gear that was broken on the Blockbuster. This gear comes off of the flywheel and drives a pulley, and that pulley we're driving the auto stop mechanism and the idler with the rubber tire that drives the take-up reel during playback. So this is the second most common failure I'm noticing. the plastic shrinks with age. When it does, it cracks. And because it's around a metal piece. Well, when it shrinks, it also, right where the crack is, the two teeth open up. And I can't show it. I can't even see it myself right now. But the two teeth kind of get wider. Okay, I think I have it right at the very top. You kind of see it. But, so what's going on right now, the tape deck does work. But, just like the GE, it was going ka-tunk, 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 ka-tunk when it was running. So, one, that's probably not good for the, other gears it's driving, and also it's inducing a lot of flutter into the audio. So I am going to show tape deck operation, but that's it. Until I can get another gear for it, I'm not going to use it. Now that said, I'm going to investigate seeing about 3D printing this gear to make replacements for this. Alright, now I got it installed successfully, and even with all that tension on the spring, it's holding just fine. This is how it's supposed to go right there. That's how it affects that gear from going into engaging. That spring has to be just like that. Rerouted the wires. Now I have to reinstall that key, the push keys, levers. I also remember how I was talking about the design of the eject button on this, how like you don't have, if it's in play or any other mode and you press eject, it'll automatically put it in stop, because look what this does. Moves that whole linkage there. So I mean, these older tape transports are so well built. This is not a Tension piece of crap. And you know, they have brakes on them. Tension doesn't have brakes. Rubber idler tire for playback, so dampens vibrations. So yeah, this is what a speaker looks like before cleaning. I just took the paintbrush to it, got the big chunks of dirt and lint out of it. Now I'm gonna take a little alcohol wipe. I can grab one. Instead I grabbed two, but you get the idea. One of these doodads. And here it is after cleaning. Don't worry about that, that'll dry within a minute. Just that, but I also got the chrome all polished up. All right, got the innards cleaned up. And here's the front. Everything polished up. So now I'm gonna set this aside for now. Okay, got the back panel all polished up. Got that off of here. What I normally would do is use like vinyl weather stripping. It's just padding, and to replace what this is in here. And here is the VU meter board. See, it uses two Sharp IR2E16 ICs. Let's look that up. Well, I let it run for a full day and then it quit working. And it was a really stupid problem now. I noticed like when the bass was hitting, it kept like cutting out, like it was off. And then after a full round, it kept getting worse and worse. And it got to the point where the battery light went out and the tuning light was barely lit. I thought maybe a voltage regulator died or something. Took it apart, start the obvious, start the transformer, work my way in, and I did spray contact cleaner in all these, but I had to do it again on the power switch. That's the problem. It's just so weird how that happened, but now it's working quite reliably. I mean, it is almost 40 years old, and this is the first time it's probably ever been serviced in its life. So, yeah. And interesting, this TAM radio transformer is actually Tamura out of Japan. And they were using a lot of high-end audio equipment. So it's a very high-quality transformer. To see how big that transformer is, I mean, it's almost the same size as the tape deck. That's why these are heavy. But, you know, you want quality, you gotta have some weight to it. So once again, we're back in the retro media room, and again, forgive the giant mess. Real life, you know. So just for the time being, until I get things set up. So there is the realistic Powerhouse on top of the GE Blockbuster. Now, technically, they perform the same. They have the same specs. They both sound the same, which is absolutely fantastic. And they both look absolutely beautiful. We'll get into that later. But for now, let's demonstrate the realistic Powerhouse.
Once the pause is... And I first started at the USC Shoah Foundation, and we had our first...
That's an impressive start. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what I'm liking about it.
Sports! Hey. What happened to the ball and bat?
The splitter.
Purchase. Use it on everything. Run to Old Navy or Old...
Life. Lately, we haven't been moving.
Just like the one ring of Saint. For the victory, good things are coming even when we can't hear yours. I know I'm the last guy. Could lay my head in return for. Hold on, I don't want it.
Our study today was made possible through your prayer and financial support.
That dealer. Stop by one of our Jefferson Landmark locations in...
Back to where you were. Build you a house.
Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests.
Now it's nice and strong.
Russ Letang and
Store for details. Cohen Markets with the best.
So just stepping through the tuner there, trying to avoid the copyright police, but to give you a quick idea. So yes, even though the tape deck is that last piece, you can hear it a little bit. Once it puts a load on, it makes a thunk, thunk, thunk noise. Other than that, if it wasn't for that, this tape deck would be 100%. I'll find a way to reproduce that gear and fix this problem once and for all. It's just simple age-related issues. You can hear it thunking. So this will probably be the last time I'm going to use this tape deck until I can get that problem fixed. Either a parts unit off eBay again, or, you know, reproduce that gear. Which is a shame because these tape decks are really good performers. On chrome tape such as this, it goes up to 15 kilohertz. Very low wow and flutter. You know, full automatic stop, music search, heavy flywheel. It is nice.
Get a new album and a tour from these guys this year. Yeah, they'll be around this summer. At Star Lake and ZZ Top TV.
So here they are together. The GE Blockbuster, which is a clone of the Funai RCS 300G. That was the actual boombox, and the rest are, well, OEMs or clones of it. So you have the GE, you have the Powerhouse. And as you can see, everything is pretty much identical. They just changed things around enough to where it's like a totally different unit. Performance is the same, which is equally as amazing. All the buttons are the same. Only thing is, the realistic only labels what the buttons would be when you push them in. And oddly, when you push the meters button in, that's when it turns them off for power saving. Naturally, I'm gonna leave them on because that's like one of the coolest functions of the box right there. Down here, it's like meter, battery, or VU meters. Press it in. So I'm on a strong, the right one would be your tuning, which is strong on an FM station. And the right one, battery, naturally is going to be 100% because it's running off AC power. Both have stereo wide, or as GE says, stereo accent. Loudness button on these, I don't consider a loudness button, more of like an equalization button for the speakers, because I mean, you can crank this, you can really crank these and it will not distort. So that's what I mean by that. Let's see, these are the same. The realistic puts the knob on the side. The GE puts it on the front. Microphones move up higher. And GE has the 3 music location system with the button there. This just has the 1. This one actually gains a recording light and a tuning indicator when you're on station. And the backs are pretty much identical to every little last detail as mentioned. See the nameplate there? Come up here, that's where they did for realistic, and it does say trade name. But everything else is identical. Microphones, AC, bias oscillator, aux in, extension speakers or external speakers, whatever you want to call it. Those are all the same, but even all the wording is identical on the rear. So GE does have the cord storage, but this one has all its stickers in good shape and intact. The GE's from 1982, 29th week of 1982. And this guy here is from 1983, going by date codes on the speakers and such. So which one do I prefer? Well, they each have their own unique features. So I say I like them equally for different reasons. I mean, obviously the performance and specifications are identical, which are just simply kick ass. Definition of a real boombox right here. Well, the GE has that really cool large chrome dust caps, analog VU meters, which is kind of, you know, during the early 80s, everything was going to LEDs. So that's a really nice touch here. I love that. Nice brushed chrome or brushed aluminum on the front there, all shiny. But the realistic has a more industrial look to it, and the 24 LEDs for the VU meters just simply just cool. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, they both perform identically. But like I said, this one has a more industrial look, and the LEDs are all over the place. And then this one here, this has other unique qualities. So I like them both equally for different reasons. Now that said, there is another variant of this, at least for the North American market. I'm not going to reveal it just yet. I'm hoping to someday come across it before I do. And it's under a brand you would never suspect. It's a real sleeper, let's just say that. Oh yeah, it looks even cooler in person. But you can see how FM radio is. It's just like compressed nowadays. I'm gonna do another video on that soon. That would be like what the radio used to be like even just 23, 24 years ago. It was completely different. That's a rather weak station, I guess, but still demonstrates it. But yeah, how cool is that just to see that going on? The thing that's amazing about these are the sound is very hi-fi. And the bass is very deep, low. It sounds like you listen to a receiver, but you're not. Like a 1970s era receiver, but you're not. That's how good these are. And the only other, before we wrap this up, the only other thing that's different, there is a shoulder carrying strap, as I mentioned earlier, and it's actually in the same color scheme as the dial scale here. I'd love to get a hold of that. So that concludes this video on the realistic SCR-8, aka the Powerhouse from 1983. Thank you for watching.
This had better be good, Mr. Singer. Didn't let you organize this little charade to be made a fool of.
No, I wouldn't do that, sir. You can count on it. You know the drill? I mean, lots of noise.
Hey, you're gonna get all the DBs you can handle.
All right, Reagan.
Yeah.
Everybody, I want you to do and say whatever you did the other night.
I didn't do or say anything.
Well, then do it again.
Okay, hold it down a second. Thanks for dropping by, and good night.